Hello and welcome back. So, in the last video we did our toddler simulation. In this video we're going to have a counter that's going to count up to 20 and it's going to skip number 13 because, bad luck. So yeah, this will be an actually very quick one that'll pop up when I hit the run module option. So give it a moment, it'll happen in like a brief moment and it'll be super quick. And there it goes. It went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, skipped 13, so 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then it ended. So obviously that's how this number counter works. And we can do the same thing just as well. So this one is not going to require any sort of input, so we don't need to be in interactive mode, so I can just turn that off then. But here's how we're going to do this, because obviously before we were just starting a loop and ending a loop. Now we're actually tweaking stuff inside of a loop. So let's first just, remember to keep your name and all that in there, but, let's also give them a nice little welcome. Welcome to the number counter. And I'll give them a couple of new lines there. And then I'll, probably print something along the lines of, what we're going to wind up doing. Oh, by the way, remember, you can still triple quote things. We will skip 13 for bad luck. We will end at 20. So remember, if you ever want multiple lines in a print statement, just do your triple quotes. And because I'm just going to make a number variable, I'll just name it number. So I'll just call it, number equals 0. So now, with this being said, here's where we're going to get into something that's actually new. So we already know that to do a loop, you start with while. But while loops, much like if statements, their default native ability is Boolean. That is their default data type. Yes, you can check answers with strings, you can check answers with integers, you can check answers whatever you want. But realistically, either this loop is happening or it's not happening. Same with an if statement. Either it's true or it's false. So this is all Boolean logic here. So if I say while true, what I'm saying is while this while exists. And does this while exist? Yes, it does. Which means this will go on forever because it's always going to exist. So this right here is what's known as an infinite loop. So if I were to simply do something, like number plus equals 1, which, by the way, in case anyone realizes what that means, that's basically me saying number equals number plus 1. So basically that plus equals is whatever this is now equal to itself plus 1. So just letting you know, if you ever see something like this, or if you see a minus equals, that would be minus 1, so it's equal to itself minus 1. Same sort of thing. So just remember that. It's easier to type in 2 buttons than it is to type out a longer line, right? Where we want to do the least amount of strokes possible. So if I simply do that and then I just say, print, number, because obviously while we're true, well, it's always going to be true. So number is going to be, number plus 1, and then, 0, and then 1, then 2, then 3, whatnot. So if I hit execute, you'll notice it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going all the way, 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 all the way. And even though you see how small my little scroll line is here, we're all the way at the 5,122 before the program itself reached its limit and said, wait, that's too much. This loop is going on for too long. And it stopped itself. That's what an infinite loop is. An infinite loop will always keep going until eventually the computer or the program runs out of the memory needed to calculate it. So JDoodle had this nice little thing where it went, wait a minute, this is going on forever, I'm going to stop it here. But if this were an actual computer, especially an older computer, you would have had this keep going and going and going and going and going until you had to either forcefully quit the program or your computer just decided it broke. So we don't want infinite loops. Now, by definition, while true will create an infinite loop, but that's why we have certain things that we're going to have to do to stop it. Also, another thing I'd like you to notice. See how it started at 1? Why did it do that? Because I added 1 before I printed my number. If I were to do this in reverse, and I say print, number, now you'll notice it started at 0 because my number was 0 and I printed that number before I added 1. So now if I go all the way down here, 5122. Oh, I think it's still I think its limit is just 5122. I think that's just a hard set limit then by the program, which is good. Oh, come on. Stop trying to grab stuff. There we go. So, just letting you know that that sort of thing is important. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stop this from ever going beyond 20, right? So, how are we going to do that? Well, we know that it's going to be checking, while true, it's going to be checking everything inside of it every single time it's true. So why not we just put ourselves an if statement in here? Yes, you could put an if statement inside a while loop. You can put a while loop inside a while loop. You can put a for loop inside a while loop, inside an if statement, inside a while loop, inside a for loop, so on and so forth. You can put anything inside of it as long as you keep remembering those colons and it keeps indenting properly. So let's just say, if number, and we wanted it to end at 20, right? So if number is greater than 20, greater than 20, we'll just have this one word, break. And break, all break means is we're going to break this function. We're going to break this logic. We're going to stop it. Okay? So now if I execute, you'll notice it stopped itself at 20. That was the hard break point where I said, hey, you know what? If this number ever reaches this, stop us. Okay? And that's the first thing we're going to do with that. And of course, oh, but you notice I also still need to skip that number 13 because we said we were going to skip it for bad luck. Like how some hotels don't have a floor 13. If you look at what's that game that James Bond always played in the old movies? Well, whatever it was, there was never a position 4 because it was popular in Japan, and 4 is the unlucky number in Japan. So it went like 1, 2, 3, 5 on the board. So yeah. So we can do that. And so let's just, we can add ourselves another if statement here for if number, and we're going to be skipping 13, right? So if number is equal to 13, now instead of saying break, because break is what stops the program, I'll just say continue. Now you're probably wondering, why in the world is continue the word used instead of something like skip, or, because we're skipping this number. Yes, but then we're continuing on after it. So it's one of those weird things where basically it's saying wait, stop here, go back up to the top of the loop, and then so we never even get to this part because it's going while true, oh, continue. Okay, let's skip all this and go back up here to start the loop again. So that's what's happening. So now if I hit execute, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We skipped 13, and now we have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And now we have ourselves a number counter that skips 13 and ends at 20. Did exactly what we told it to do, right? So, once you have this all working and saved, please submit it through on the mini project 2 for this week. And I will see you on Thursday in the next class where we'll be going over, let's see what we'll be going over. We'll be doing a shopping simulator And we'll be changing some stuff about rock, paper, scissors. So that big project you had, yeah, I hope you got your rock, paper, scissors working because we're going to be adding to it. Oh, and by the way, if you don't have your rock, paper, scissors working, no, you're not going to be able to upload it after I show you the code of how to make it when we do this little addition to it. Just letting you know in advance.